Bemigo, hello. No, not really. I learned coding when there wasn't even C++, so I wrote stuff in BASIC when I started, in C. So I think anything is good with classes. Just make a user class for everything. I made one video to stream during which I made the number wall. That took me a few hours, and then everything worked. So that was number walls, yeah. Let's see if Google knows what it is. I think you probably should look up at this. If you look at this, I use that just this YouTube, and then I use it to write a program that predicts the next number in a series. So you type in some numbers, and then it says figures out what comes after that. Budgie, I have no idea what that is. And I want to code. If result is not equal to the end, and one after that is also not end, and this even has the same key, now you have a problem because I guess that compiles. Key was not declared in this scope. Did you mean key type? Yeah, right. Let me do the same thing here, or rather, yeah, I get the key and then texture. Not even getting a window here. Oh. Let's get the texture here. Sorry, let's get the key here. Descriptor update. No, does not exist. I think I named it differently than key. It's probably called descriptor key or something like that. I have a key. No. It's not what I want anyway. Look for an existing entry with the same factor characteristic ID. Descriptor update info key. That just exists. I'm using it here. Why is it still? That's what you get when you copy stuff. Okay, I have a key, but this key is just a single, probably a single subrange. It does have extend subrange though. Vulkan I'm doing for 2 years now. Iter factory characteristic tool. I don't like this extend subrange here. I just want to set it equal, just not to extend. It looks weird. Key has two things, one of which is a subrange. And of course I can make this work, but I'm wondering if abusing operator equal here is the correct thing to do. Yeah, I don't know. Set subrange, I guess. I think that now key has the right value. That is, it's the key that we entered with. Yeah, this task received the descriptor update info, which says this is a key, and then we set variable local variable key here equal to the key that of the object that came in. And it exists of two parts: the factory characteristic ID, which points to the pipeline factory and the specific characteristic range of that factory. That is the one that sent this message, say, and a range of the characteristic range. So the characteristic range can run from 0 to 100, and now we have a subrange here that it says, well, this is the part from 10 to 30, something like that. Although those incoming messages always have a range, I think, with just of size 1. So if we would have something that is the same for ranges 10 to 30, we would just call it 20 times. Yeah, I don't think there's much you can do about that, really. It's more like... yeah, we definitely cannot do something about it. I think there are different descriptors. Not sure though. Damn it. I have the feeling I make loads of mistakes in this part of the code. It's hard to test. Well, I just have to see. I think I have to write tests for it and see what happens. So I'm gonna assume that we have the key here, and then we can find the texture. Should only find one texture. If we found the texture, then sorry, we do not found the texture. Then we do this. Use the loading texture. And if we do find a texture, then we can do the texture second. That would be the pointer to the actual texture object. Texture first is the same key. That apparently overlaps with our key. And then we do update descriptor single window descriptor set and binding array element. I have to support arrays as well. Not yet. Yeah, well, Alexandru has a long way to go. Still doesn't even realize that the difficulty of this program has nothing to do with what language you write it in. It's a bit pathetic, actually. Anyway, yeah, what happens else here is the other one, so we get the texture info. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. It's just too difficult to look at the code and say this works. And worse, I think it doesn't. I think I made mistakes, overlook things, I don't know what. Not talking about compile errors, but let's stop compiling. Let's fix compile errors first, I guess. Passing consts as this argument discuss qualifiers. My key is const, yeah, that's correct. That was not the right decision. No. Expected primary expression before I would say it doesn't know what its descriptor is. Did I leave the scope in which descriptor is defined, and if so, what should it be here? Strange. I think I need this. What is a namespace? I mean, descriptor or something. Descriptor. Window is not defined here. Why not? Now that's interesting. So the descriptor update info does give me a window, but the other one doesn't. Texture updated request. It's got no window in it. Well, I guess I'll have to make a M window. And then assume that that is defined if this returns anything, and that means that we already have been here, and we set I'm going to use MWindow here. Sigh. Maybe I should just pass it to the constructor, this thing. What am I developing? Yeah, Vulkan engine. I know it's surprising, but it's in the title. Can I pass it to... Well, I can, of course, but that would be kind of annoying, right? Since the user has to call this. I don't want to have to pass the window to every combined image sampler every time. Yeah. Let's go with this thing, and then I did have one window that didn't exist here. New window. I don't know what generic means. Window is not declared. Keep having no windows here. New window. Struct standard pair does not have descriptor set. So when I started coding, for a long time actually, first decade that I coded, if you made any mistake in your programs, the whole operating system would crash and you would have to reboot your computer. Well, in C anyway. So I didn't code in C, as you will understand. That was so much fun. Hey, it compiles and it works. Your typical color would work. Several days of coding and then it just works. Immediately. But it's not entirely fair because I'm not testing everything. But those who have been here for a long time might remember that it was not even possible to have two different textures here. And now it is. Yeah, but okay, testing this. Is not easy. It is so flexible, as it were, that I'm not sure how to test this. Okay, this difficult code here is a part of the engine. so I have to fix it when it doesn't work, but you should only look at the user code that are using this. And that is doing the following. I think, well, wait, I probably can delete this now, right? What is this doing? It's a binding number and a descriptor set, and then we find out which who is who. And eventually we call update descriptor set single. Yep, so I do that now. This code is no longer user code. The user code looks like this. We have a create textures function which lists the file names. And then it reads the file names from a file. And we create the texture objects which are assigned to my array of textures. And I upload those textures to the GPU. So now I have 3 textures. The number of combined image samplers equal to 3 in this case. And I abuse that value for the number of textures. In the end, it should not be the same number, but well. Currently I have 3 combined image samplers and 3 textures. And then I do the following. We have 2 pipelines. And again 3 combined image samplers. And then that's 2 times 3 is 6. But I filter 2 out. So the only thing that's left is 4 times calling this line. Which then says the combined image sampler T must use texture T, provided that it was, and it being this thing, created by yeah, well, that pipeline characteristic range. Now I don't really have a characteristic range, we just have 1 characteristic, but I do have 2 pipeline factories. So basically this is saying that pipeline. So it says, like, if this pipeline added this image sampler, then link it to that texture. And that 4 times. So if pipeline is 0, and the pipelines are, let me run the program, now I can actually point it in. What? So this is pipeline 0 on the left side, and this is pipeline 1 on the right side. And I use 2 different fragment shaders. They use the same vertex shader but different fragment shaders. And they do use the same GLSLID string, as I call it, for the top texture. And this one uses bottom 0 for the bottom texture, and this one uses bottom 1 for the bottom texture. And this texture is just called top. So this pipeline uses top and bottom 0, and this pipeline uses top and bottom 1. So I give top a texture, and I give bottom 0 a texture, and I give bottom 1 a texture. And then you get this. This is the vertex things, and here we have the fragment shader. So the left pipeline, so pipeline number 0, uses this fragment shader, and that speaks about top and bottom 0 for the top texture of the or the bottom texture, and this one uses the top texture and bottom 1 texture. Now note that this is also a part of my Vulkan engine, that I can use this. In reality, GLSL code looks different. There is no double colon in GLSL, so there would be a syntax error. But this is just a string, and my engine will replace this with something else and then generate a declaration for it automatically. I think that makes it easier to use. You don't have to figure out all those difficult numbers and stuff. You just give it a name. I would say that this is more intuitive. This is very ugly, by the way, but as soon as I support arrays, it's going to be an array, of course. We now call it top and bottom, but in the end of which you can just call it foo and then use this as array index. But that's one step further. I'm not supporting arrays yet, not fully. Okay, so the shaders look pretty straightforward, I would say. But I still have to assign my textures. And that then happens in these few lines. But in order to understand exactly what's going on, we have to look at the place where we actually bind the combined image samplers to a pipeline. So let's search for that. Here I just give it a name. So each of the 3 of these, and here I just say that the first one is top and the next one is bottom 0 and the third one is bottom 1. These are just strings. So I link the string to the object here. Apparently I need to search for something else in order to get maybe this one. I think that looks more like it. Yep. Here's where we define the pipeline. It's also kind of contrived, I guess. I'm creating set key preference objects, which exist of the descriptor set key which I pull out of the combined image samplers array of my window. So this returns an array, and then I say okay, number t, and then I get a descriptor task of that, and then the key of that. So now we finally have a key, which is simply another way of saying t. T runs from 0 to 3, but I need to get a key at some point. And this 1.0 means that it just I'm very certain about it. It runs from 0 to 1, and 1 is just 100%. So this doesn't do anything. It just creates 3 objects that 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 say okay, with 100% certainty that combined image sampler. And as you saw before, I gave it a name, so we can even talk about the names right here. So I have a list here again with top, bottom 0 and bottom 1. Except that it different objects and stuff. I'm gonna make a new array. Which simply contains 2 integers. And this is the combined image sampler index of the given pipeline. So the index is the pipeline. So pipeline 0 uses top and bottom 0. I mean, this pipeline equals 0 and this is 1, and 0 was top and 1 was bottom 0. And pipeline 1 uses also top, but number 2, which was bottom 1. So that's why you get those textures the way we saw them. And then finally I have to tell the engine to use all that. That happens here. They call add combined image sampler. And that's the same thing as here. We just get the array here, and then we use the combined image sampler index is I, so that is from this array. I get the 0, the 1, or the 2. And then here I tell it, what is my preference for where it should be used. In this case, key preference is this array, which is also saying just top, bottom 0, bottom 1, but then in a special way. And I'm using 1 minus I. Where I runs from 0 to 1, so that is just 0 becomes 1 and 1 becomes 0. Meaning that I say for a given pipeline, we get here twice. This code is executed once for each pipeline, by the way. So in pipeline is 0, and then another time we get here in this 1. And this is just talking about one pipeline, of course. So what I'm saying here is I want you to combine this texture, combined image samplers, that's another word for texture. I want you to combine this texture with the other texture. So the two that are in this array must be put in the same descriptor set. That's what I'm saying. And I insist. So it's that's why it is doing that. I don't like the readability of all this, but at least it's not much code. And it is flexible. That's the most important thing, of course. Okay, so testing it would mean that one of the things I could do is to this delayed. So Is that even possible? Because I have to compile my shader, like right below it. Yeah, no, this should go here. This defines the pipeline, so that's just, well, 2 pipelines. So that's just it. We have a pipeline on the left side, pipeline on the right side, and we want to put the textures. We'll want to link the textures that pipelines or the shaders are using in this way. I changed it a bit, but this is already pretty covering most of the possibilities. Namely, both pipelines use the one of the combined image samplers. So I have 3 of them, and one of them is used by both pipelines, and then the other 2 are used by only one pipeline. I mean, what else do you want? Could add one that is only used by one pipeline, but I don't think that's going to give any insight. What I can do is go back to create textures. Create textures and then delay this. This can be delayed. How do we delay that? That is a good question. I have timers, but I'm not sure how to use them. I'll have to figure that out again. So my timers that I have work best from a task. We are in a task, I guess, but how or what are we? Create textures. Yeah. Not really, you know. I mean, yes, we are, but can I just run a command, a delayed command? Yeah, I can just create a timer task, I think, and then run that. Just right here. At least that will work. But then I have to figure out how that was done. Timers are part of the thread pool, I think. Utils, additions. I think this one then, not EVIO does not have a thread pool, right? Or does it? It does have a thread pool. Let's go to source. Well, it does not have any timer tests. Let's try that one. There's a timer test. Yeah, this is more testing the timers than using a timer, ask me. Nope. I think I should be able to just grab for task timer. How else would I use it? Call it, I mean. Does not exist. This is timer implementation in oh yeah, of course. I mean the timer is very complex. You can run millions of timers without CPU penalty. It's not easy code, but it's finished. However, there's nothing to do with tasks. I guess I made a special timer task. We have a socket task here, a resolver task. I should have a timer task somewhere. Damn it. I cannot even find back my own stuff. I'm gonna go back here and look at the other timer things. MZ, no. Promising. Timer run, that's what we're looking for. Yeah, I agree with that remark. Ein Chandoi Hinguen. These are so difficult names. But definitely that too. It's not yeah. Usually, I mean, it doesn't matter how well you are how good a C++ programmer you are. It would be unlikely to understand the code by just looking at a little part of it, glancing at a little part of it. That requires a year of study at least to get a little bit into it. I've joined projects with the intention to actually help them, so then I have to code stuff, and well, I totally need to understand at least parts of the code then. Now that requires a year investment. Study the code, years even, if you want to really start to contribute. Wow, I found the word. It took a while, but didn't give up. Okay, this is it. Yeah, this is what I wanted. And the reason I couldn't find it is because the bloody thing is called AI timer instead of task timer. But same thing. So we're gonna do this. The engine is being used somewhere or not? I'm not even seeing it being used. There's an engine here. Oh, use the engine to run in the main loop. It's difficult. I don't have engines. Well, I'm not using an engine, so a timer really needs to run from the thread pool, I think. Here's a thread pool handler. Also not being used. What the fuck? It's literally not being used. Maybe it's secretly being used. Yeah. We'll just try it, I guess. If it mysteriously works or not. And callback here is what? Callback is just a void bool, okay? We're gonna create a new timer, and then we set interval 2 milliseconds. No, 2 seconds. Don't need that, and then we just run it. When we run it using a callback, just use a lambda. Void boolean success. Let's start with it doing all of this. Inside there. Yeah, indentation. Sure. Is this going to work? Because the number of pipelines happens to be static of this class. I guess we need the class. We need the class for m Combined image samplers and everything, M textures, everything. Yeah, that's right. Capture this pointer. Now we can execute that. Now if this compiles, then it should execute it with a delay of 2 seconds, I guess. Let's try that. I think I have to include a header first. Do AI timer is not declared. So that is defined in stateful task AI timer. I don't think it's using a namespace. Not at all. Let's include that here. Interval. That must be threadful interval. Okay. Yeah, it compiles, but what will it do? That worked. Awesome, isn't it? I think I had errors here. I see errors. Validation error. That's not good. Is that before or after my timer went off? Oh, and now it hangs. Oh, I hate that. Damn it. Okay, well we got rid of most threads apparently, but there's two are still running. Now the big question is of course which one is waiting for which one. I think that the first thread here is the main thread. We are in it, so if I do a backtrace I should see a main. Yes, that's the main thread. And that is waiting, it's joining with all the other threads. So it's probably waiting for this last thread. To exit, info threads again, and then I think that one should not be hanging, right? So we switch to thread 2, backtrace. Oh, it's my timer. Why? I probably should stop the timer at the moment that I terminate. But doesn't it, I mean, the timer is a task. Doesn't the task just exit after it expired once? Apparently not. You can reuse it or something. Maybe the easiest way is to look at the implementation of thread pool timer here. Let's say it should only call expire when there is something to expire, right? It's hanging on a mutex though. It doesn't look like trying to expire at all. Why is it hanging on a mutex? Wait for possible expire to finish. And then it hangs on a mutex. Yeah, that's not good. I see it is being destructed. It's a deadlock. It's a lock by 2 threads, or just one. Anyway, the one that has locked is this thread. Which is itself. So it's deadlocked by recursively locking something. That should not happen. Well, that should be possible to find that back, isn't it? If it is a recursive lock. So again, I'm doing a backtrace. We are here. Yeah, I need a new window. Let's create a new tab. Okay, we are hanging here, waiting for I'm calling expire to become unlocked. Locked while calling expire to prevent destructing or reusing the timer before that finished. Oh, the wrong button. Yeah, there's okay. We are and that's being called from the Destructor, which of course makes kind of sense. Yeah, I don't think stop calls locks a mutex and then returns. And then returns. This is not using a mutex, just atomics. And timers, instant, cancel. Stop called first. No, it's also atomics. Cancel. Unique lock. Well, this locks that same mutex, so hopefully, well, it's, I mean, then it would be unlocked, either hang here or be unlocked after leaving the scope. So I suppose we never entered this if, and it was already locked. So I'm gonna assume it was already locked before calling stop. Which means that it would be already have been locked before we got into the Descriptor. Well, it seems unlikely. Oh, it is locked. Expired. Oh, why didn't I just scroll down immediately? Yeah. Okay, things become clearer. So the underlying implementation, that's a thread pool timer, expires. As a result, it calls expired on the AI timer object, which, as you just read in a comment, it should lock a mutex to prevent it being destructed while busy expiring. But then while it is expiring, it is destructing itself. So what are we doing wrong here? Allow deletion. Yeah, using it wrong, I think. Why don't I just have super clear documentation written about this? It should exist somewhere. Yeah, man, well said. We need people like you to answer the FAQs in the chat. What is a Vulkan engine? By now I'm so pissed off by that question that I can only react sarcastically. And then someone gives an excellent answer. Very good. I could copy it and maybe next time I can paste it when someone asks it. Yeah, okay. Let's follow it a little bit. Let's follow it in one direction. Which way shall we follow it? From bottom to top in the stack trace or the other way around? I think the other way around makes more sense now. I'm going to begin all the way here. Just because. See, that's where we lock it. Yeah, put that answer in the description. It's a good idea. I want to keep my to-dos above that though. Oh yeah, the number of to-dos are reasonably short now. Okay, I can add an FAQ. FAQ 1. What is a Vulkan engine? Question mark. That one. Q. Answer. I'll remove just. A graphics program that uses the Vulkan API. I changed it a bit. Okay, that works. Oh boy, it's too long. I reworked the ends a little bit. I hope it didn't fuck it up too much, but I put it in the description. So now we can point people to the description when they ask what is a Vulkan engine. Okay, so the problem is expire is being called. That locks my mutex here. Then do callback is called, which returns true if flags was 0 and is now set to expire called first. That means expire was called before stop, and then therefore we do the callback. And that callback led us to invoke, lambda. Are we in the lambda here yet? Calls expire for the second time, and different expire. Oh, right, it's a different expire, of course. Right, it calls this lambda, which then in turn calls expired. That's the AI timer expired, which would be this one. That stores 1 in it and calls signal 1. Right, it calls signal 1 on the timer. I guess that means we get here. Yeah, this timer is just waiting for the signal. Because we are in immediate mode, apparently, well, we are. And the same thread that calls signal here is now running this task, so it's running this. There I would call finish and then blah blah blah, and that would result in the destruction of AI timer because we exited. Signal runs insert multiplex, which runs multiplex, which calls We are here. Yep, the task is being destructed. Okay, I think I know how to solve it. I was thinking about maybe adding an assert somewhere, or even allow this to happen, but I don't want to make it any slower, so I'll put a button by the user, with the user, meaning that this is a new one. No, this is the new. This was where I was. Let's just stop this thing. Solve it. Grab AI timer, and now we have hardly believe that I don't have any documentation for it. There's no documentation here. Typical usage. This is the documentation. I don't think it's correct because that's how I did it. This is not correct. It's a 3D, yeah, 3D game engine. I'm so confused about that even my documentation is wrong. I mean, like I never tested it, as if, you know. It's really strange. So what happens is I create a task, being the timer task, AI timer is a task, and I run it. Typically a task just deletes itself as soon as it finishes. Unless you keep a reference count on it. It would mean that I would have a boost intrusive pointer of an AI timer somewhere, then it would not be deleted. But the documentation even says that I would use just new. Really weird. It's not even the way to use task in general. Tasks. And that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is then that the what happens when it expires is literally then it deadlocks if you do it like that. So it's impossible. So there's two solutions that come to mind. One, I would, as a user, I would always create timers using a boost intrusive pointer and then call stop on them before destructing the boost intrusive pointer. Or somehow fixes the recursive lock. Feels like that will cost a few extra CPU clocks, so not like that idea. Nothing. So really, I never wrote a program that uses AI timer with intrusive pointer. Unbelievable. Okay, I'm gonna do this again. And now with create. That would be the typical way to create a task. AI stateful task double colon create, but okay. Got the feeling that it must be possible to do this faster. Maybe looking at the file name first. Demand that ends on .cxx or cbp. Yeah, I hoped it would be faster, but it looks like it's doing the same, going to use the same amount of time as the first search. In the meantime, I guess I can think about how I want to solve this. It seems that I have to call disallow think. It did hang. Well, it did deadlock before probably the end. Thinking it did hang at the end of my program. But yeah, it just should never try to terminate at the moment that that would result in the destruction. This is so weird. Okay, sorry guys, I have to do this again now with new. So, let me think. Yeah, that's the wrong documentation, and then this is the test that we already found, which I basically copied. I wonder, is that there should be a way to for a start, I want to turn this deadlock into an assert. and I think that I can call unique, as in that's not allowed at the moment I call expire, because expire just causes it to finish the task. Yeah, that's all. No, I want to have a look at timer. Right. I want to test here that it's not either not in immediate mode, and I cannot jump here. Should go inside project. Turn true if this is an immediate handler. But that is part of the handler or what? Yeah, it's check the handler. Yeah, this one is immediate. Test is the current handle is immediate. It did not stop. It did not assert, I mean. Why? How? Yeah, timer was destructed. Is fretboard 7 now hanging or not? Yeah, to figure that out, I guess. Like, before stopping it. Yep, it is hanging. It's claiming that it is not immediate. Yeah. Let's put a breakpoint here, I guess. Hello, Xama. I cannot answer that. I mean, when can someone code? I started when I was 12, and I was writing programs that did run, so I could code. insert multiplex, and now it's calling multiplex. So why is that then? Well, that's insert. That's what insert is doing. Oh, step. Event schedule run. Event insert abort. Event is not normal run. Fuck you, GDB. Load TV. It's not that easy. it is idle. And this says immediate. The default handle is immediate, and of course it's currently idle, I guess. So maybe I should test the default handler. I guess that's what the reason that it did run. Also, I don't know, man. Damn it. It's too difficult for me. Where was I editing? Right, so it's not allowed to be a default, not allowed to have a default immediate mode, or its reference count cannot be unique. And this is derived from AI stateful task, which is derived from AI ref count, which has a unique, which if it returns true, then well, then it stays true, and that is wrong. If it returns false, it could still be wrong. So it's kind of fuzzy, but it's an assert anyway, so it doesn't really matter. How do I test a fuzzy bool for being maybe true? No, it returns true. Wait. It's unique. Yeah, it cannot. It's not allowed to be true. Fuzzy true. It's just true. How do I test that? God, forget everything. Damn it. Yeah, it's true. But is momentary true is as bad? The point is that I know that it will never return something else than just true. But I think I should do no, I just have to demand that it is momentary false. Yeah, timer. Threadable timer. I'm calling expire. Okay, AM timer. I'm calling expire. Hello, Shishanand. The strange thing about this is that it's not bad to destruct it. The reason it is not bad is because it's the very, very, very last thing we do. So this object is being destructed by signal, but only as the very last thing that it does. And then it's perfectly okay to return from this. And then we get to the caller, which was God knows where. What was the caller? Seriously? What the fuck? Okay. Run in compound first. So I just grabbed for literally this string and I didn't find it. Okay, slow down. Yeah, so the point is that immediately after destruction we simply return from signal, which then leaves the scope, and we in the end we get here and then we get here and then the mutex is freed. So there is no good reason to hang on it. So we can also fix this function to increment the ref count and then delay the destruction until we unlock the mutex again. Yeah, that would make things tiny little bit slower. Yeah, that's probably better, best, I don't know. The only problem is this is a timer. You don't have the reference count here. Instead, I would have to do it before calling expire, which means that I always have to increment the reference count and then decrement it again. I think I'll do that. It's either that or let the user have a boost intrusive pointer for the timer and then demand that I call stop on it before destructing that. No, you don't have to call stop. Well, if you don't call stop, then it would just keep running until it expires. That would be a semi-memory leak, I guess. Okay, I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep my assert. And then I'll have to explain how to fix it here. Okay, my reason for keeping it is as follows. It seems unsafe to allow destruction We use 5.5. What the hell? Set interval. Set interval. Only see one set interval. Interval can be constructed from nobody gets this. Yeah, apparently that documentation was very old. So it doesn't work from... It doesn't work at all. And then I forgot, of course, what had to be. So copy this. That's actually not true if it is already running. Damn. Yeah, it's not true. Bling, bling. I think this is the only way to do it, because otherwise you get lifetime problems. So a timer, the callback of a timer is going to use some object, and every object that it uses must stop the timer before they destruct. So the most logical thing to do is just have mTimer be a member variable of the object that you call the member function on. Okay, in this case. And then I would argue you might as well make that a boost intrusive pointer. So yeah. But then there is the one-time timer, which doesn't really have an object or something. Yeah, in that case you would have to use a non-immediate handler, I guess. So if we now implement this, then that will boil down to this becomes mTimer. Let me run it like that, and I'm going to so actually I might as well assign it here. Yeah, no, then the termination of the program, the destructor is one way. Do we not have a cleaner way to detect the termination of my program? Let's see what you all have. Probably some virtual function, if any. Yeah, we just have the destructor. I think it's gonna have to be the destructor. So something like if mTimer, then mTimer stop. Testing it anyway because I'm only having a timer after we call create textures. So theoretically it could be destroyed so early that mTimer wasn't set yet. What the hell? Valid user non-static data member. Oh, this is the bloody characteristic. Sorry, it's a wrong destructor. Let's go for the override again. We got round, there's no destructor. I do not have any termination. Go in this window. Nah, I should have a virtual function that is called, I think, upon destruction. Close or something. Close. Set must close. That's not the one. Yeah, well. It's actually depending on what timer is the callback is using. The callback is calling. It's using loads of stuff. Yeah. It's calling update image sampler. I think that well, thank you, Low TV, but it's okay. People should click like when they like it, and not because, I don't know, to pay me or something. To get. Well, that's actually a problem when I don't want to use the word actual. I hate that word. Why am I using it? When I watch YouTube's and sometimes I like something, then I click on like. No. Exactly the other way. I don't really like it. I just think that the author of that YouTube did something that more people should see. So I click like because I think, more people should see this video. But stupid YouTube then thinks that I want to see more YouTubes like it. So it's kind of a dual meaning. For example, I see something, I don't know, let's see, I see a card trick, magician doing a card trick, and that specific video is very good. I'm like, normally I don't like card tricks at all, but this one is very special. So I click like. You understand what I mean? And then suddenly I'm bombarded with card tricks. I don't get any other recommendation anymore than card trick videos from YouTube. So at some point you think, I wish there was another button. A button for I like it and a button for I like this video, but I don't not necessarily want to watch more of it. Gotta be kidding me. Should call a board or what? Probably. Yep. Let's call a board. It's a task after all. Did it not compile or what was this? Penalty not. Cannot convert boost and choose a pointer a timer to const vkutils timer data reference. Blink, blink, blink. Apparently already had a timer or something. I already had a timer. Window, textures, M timer. Yes, so where did the M timer come from then? Red Bull timer. Timer to use the timeout? I don't think so. Synchronous window. This one? vkutils timer data. Initialized by create I'm due. Immediate mode graphical user interface. De-initialized by destruction. Right, well maybe it should be called I'm due timer. Oh no, I feel like a craving for ice cream. And the shops are still open. I think the reason is that I should eat dinner. 1.5 hour ago, in fact. Not that I have anything in the house to eat. It's gonna be a can of pea soup again. Or I could go to the shop and buy real dinner. And try not to buy ice cream at the same time. And then make dinner. Probably should do that. Let's see, what is the problem here? It's private, yeah, okay. Well, quiet from here. Dude, where is this context? Declared private here, that's what I was looking for. Dinner, then ice cream. No, I don't want to eat ice cream at all anymore. Because I buy them in the whatever, and then you have to buy 8 or 16 of them, and then I eat one ice cream every day. And then that's not healthy. This must be a public thing. Public. Yippee! Well, cert is not firing anymore, which means that we got rid of the deadlock. So yeah. And what was I really doing? I just added a timer to test something, right? So I could look at the diff, what I was doing here. Just added a random timer to delay the call to hello, these are the textures. So they are gray until yes, I have to exercise more. So walking to the shop to buy dinner is also exercise. And walk back, yeah. So that's why I'm going to buy dinner, I think. So I get out of my chair and walk a little bit instead of getting a can of pea soup. But what shall I buy then? I'm so pissed off that I didn't buy those stocks I talked about on stream already. And some weekend I decided to buy ASML. The next Monday. That Monday I was too lazy to do it. The next day they had risen, I don't know, 5% or a few percent. And I was like, shit, I should have done it yesterday. Well, I'll just wait until they go lower again. Since they have not been lower, they just keep rising and rising. And at some point I told here on the stream that I was pissed off that I had not bought those stocks because they had risen 10% in the meantime, since I had contemplated buying them. Well, by now, a few weeks later, they have risen 50%. So I should still have bought them at 10%. Alright, if I just had bought them on that Monday, I would have bought them at the very, very, very bottom. And I would have had 50% gains. Now I have nothing. I'm still not buying them because I'm like, yeah, but now they did rise 50%. Maybe that's too much. So trading stocks is 100% pure gambling. I advise against it. Either you're lucky or you lose, but it is gambling. And I only lost every time. And now this time I could have won, but no. Unbelievable. So to make long story short, I feel very poor because I've lost a lot of money and not gained any. That's why I'm eating pea soup. I'm not even really looking at this div. Oh yeah, that work. I was going to test this function because it's big and probably not work. Yeah, I think that in general it is really so that unless you are, and even then, I think it's just always gambling. It's pure luck. And anyone who thinks that they are very smart because they made a lot of money on the stock market or with crypto, they just had luck. You think you understand it, then you do something, and then by luck you were right, and then you make a lot of money, and then you think, see, I'm smart, but you had just luck. So yeah. I think the only people that really make money are criminals. Like this FTX guy, Sam Bankman-Fried. What an asshole. He literally stole billions. Or about the crypto market. It's actually the same thing. I saw a YouTube from a smart guy, and I think he's right. Those things are securities, and people have been abusing people like me, the poor people that don't have billions. Venture capitalists were able to invest, as they call it, but it isn't even investing, it's just stealing. They invested then in a company. Well, they don't call themselves company, but it's still a company. Like let's say FTX, but I would almost say well, name any other crypto except Bitcoin. And then they get those tokens at a discount. That is, in the market they are being traded, say, for $1 per crypto coin, and they pay 100 million to this company, and they get the tokens for I don't know, 20 cents fraction. Which means that if they would immediately after donating the 100 million sell their tokens, and that would not cause the tokens to collapse in value, of course. Normally they are not allowed to do it immediately, but only after a while. Anyway, if they would be allowed and they would do it and the price would not collapse, then they would immediately make 5 times gain, 500% gain. It's crazy. So what they do, they invest 100 million. They get a lot of tokens, crypto tokens for that, which are now worth 500 million. And then a year later or a half year later, I don't know how long they have to sit on it, they start to sell it in a way that that it doesn't crash the token. And then stupid people like me put all their life savings into this crypto, And you just move dollars around, you know, from the poor people to this venture capitalist who was a billionaire to begin with. There's no money created, and those crypto firms don't do anything. They don't produce anything. They're just moving money back and forward. So yeah, it's criminal. So I also invest against investing into any crypto except Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a security. That is really nobody is giving out or making Bitcoins. It's just a fixed amount of Bitcoins. There's no company behind it. That's not a security, and you cannot be screwed. It's really just, you know, what a fool gives for it. It's still possible that it goes to zero. It's also possible that a Bitcoin goes to 100,000. But it's definitely not the case that, like with FTX, as some rich asshole is creating coins out of thin air and then selling them for whatever the market at that moment thinks that it is worth. Putting billions in their own pocket. Those billions come from somewhere. They come from pension funds and life savings of other people. That's where that money comes from. And they put it in their pocket. Yeah, well, I lost shitloads of money with crypto. I went into crypto with half my life savings about a year ago or so. It wasn't exactly top. I mean, I think I bought it on average for 50,000 when the Bitcoin was 50,000. And I did not only buy Bitcoin, but also a few shit coins, which have gone to zero now. So I lost so much, really. I'm not gonna say how much, because nobody's gonna get happy with that. From that, I can just say that I'm a poor guy who's lived a poor life, so I could save up for a long time for my old age, and I lost half of it because I bought crypto exactly at the moment that it started to collapse. Unbelievable. Why would it now be a good time to buy assets or stocks? They've been talking about, the Fed is raising interest, and they can either continue doing that until the stock market collapses, or until you get hyperinflation. There was a story for a while. Dude, the whole thing, I don't want to talk about it. I'm scared to put the money that I have in stocks right now. I still think that the market can collapse at any moment. But then probably it doesn't. I always said make the wrong decision. So right now I'm losing 12% per year. But that's better than buying stocks and then losing 50% in a month. Yeah, you missed an N. Hey guys, I'm going to shop. Yeah, it's disgusting, but you cannot do anything about it. You cannot even predict it really well. Certainly not good enough to risk any money on it. I'll be back later, okay? Thank you for watching. I'll see you.